Lindsey. Between 1951 and 1991, thousands of Indigenous children across Canada were taken from their families and placed into foster care or adopted out to white families. Today, a group of the survivors of the 60s Scoop is now traveling across Canada, gathering signatures from people who oppose an $800 million settlement deal with the government. They've got until Monday to get 2,000 signatures so that they can officially object to the agreement, one they say is simply not enough. Colleen Rajotte is the president of the Manitoba Sixties Scoop Survivors Association, and she's been leading this effort. She joins me now from Winnipeg. Colleen, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Ben.
Colleen, right off the bat, we know you need 2,000 signatures. How's that hunt going?
Well, you know, it has been a challenge. We've been traveling around the country, and, you know, we go to communities, and just a couple of weeks ago, I went to the Broken Head First Nation, which is just north of Winnipeg here. And, you know, many 60 Scoop survivors do not have Wi-Fi, they don't have TVs, they don't have phones. So, you know, we're in a situation where we go to a community and, you know, we ask, are there any 60 Scoop survivors here? And people are literally telling us, we'll drive 1 kilometer down this road and then go 2 kilometers this way, and it's the blue house on the corner. We knock on the door, we find a survivor. They know absolutely nothing about this proposed agreement. And, you know, when we were in Broken Head, just by talking to that one survivor, we found 36 more survivors from the Broken Head First Nation that knew nothing about the agreement. And this proposed settlement is a proposed settlement. It has not been approved. And it's really, really complicated. And, you know, even myself, I did not even see a copy of the proposed settlement until mid-January. So we didn't even know that there was a deadline to gather objections until quite recently. So, you know, we're traveling around and it's going well, but it's literally one adoptee at a time. And it takes about an hour to explain everything to them. And once we explain, you know, what is really going on and the fact that we are being offered, you know, some of them have heard that there's maybe $25,000 to $50,000 being offered as compensation. But once we explain what's really going on, they say, where do we sign? So that's a situation.
All right, Colleen, let's just give a little context to our viewers that as you said,
you betcha.
It looks like it could work out to be between $25,000 and $50,000 per person based on eligibility. Why, in your estimation, is that number not enough?
Yeah, no, it's not enough for so many reasons. Lawyers are being paid $75 million. 4 law firms are going to split $75 million. And we strongly feel that is way, way, way too much money. We were not widely consulted. When this was announced in October 2017, you know, I turned on the TV and it came out of the blue. And I saw Minister Bennett standing on the stage announcing, you know, this big settlement for 60 Scoop survivors. And behind her, there were a couple of Manitoba adoptees that were involved in a class action lawsuit against the federal government, and they were standing behind her. What I later learned was that those 2 plaintiffs, Stuart Garnett and Priscilla Meaches, knew nothing about the proposed agreement, and they were given less than 24 hours to fly out to Ottawa and to stand on the stage behind Minister Bennett to make it look like we as adoptees had been consulted. So they were used to make it appear that you know, everything was, you know, peachy keen and that adoptees were you know, knew what was going on, when in fact that was not true at all. You know, the fact that it says in the agreement, if adoptees take this settlement as is, we are signing away our rights to sue for physical and sexual abuse. The agreement says that, you know, well, you can go and sue the provinces for physical and sexual abuse. But, you know, there are statutes of limitations, so we're not, you know, really sure how that is going to work. So, you know, once adoptees figure out that we were not consulted and that the lawyers are going to, you know, make all of this money on the backs of our pain and suffering, we feel that is completely wrong. And, you know, as adoptees, every single one of us, and there are more than 30,000 children that were taken away from our families and our homes and our communities, it still impacts all of us today. Thousands of kids were sent to the United States. Many were used as farm labor. They were not given love in their families. And to be offered what looks like it's going to be around $25,000 because there are so many plaintiffs or so many adoptees and only a set pot of money. We really are looking for something that is fairer and more just.